Take a second, look around. Who's gonna be the one you're gonna trust when your middle fingers rust and you dig deeper, deeper underground?
Show us, like, we'll take a quick little walkthrough, but like, I mean, like I said, you got Sornex racks. I mean, those racks are at least $1,000 by themselves without any of the attachments or anything.
And some of our, you know, the guys that come before us have kind of laid this out, but we've got Sornex half racks. They flip them around so that we have a little more floor space in here. Originally, I think these racks were up against the wall, but the last strength coach who was here wanted one single line down the middle. That's why you see, you know, only one platform and racks on either side. But we've got Alico bars. We've got safety squat bars from Elite FTS. We've got some football bars that we use a lot with benching and different things like that.
You got Ohio Power bars.
Yeah, Alico plates, Ohio Power bars.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, they don't realize, like, I didn't realize all the stuff you guys had here. You know, just being a mid-major, like,
There's a lot of money.
I mean, Elite FTS, like, just your yoke bars, $400. Your Ohio Power bars, I'm gonna have a couple of those. Those are $300. Your Alico plates, you're looking at $2 a pound.
Yeah.
Like Alico bar, at least $800.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of this stuff, like we use all of it, like every day. Once a week we're using safety squat bars. Once a week we're using the football bars. Like we don't. It's not if it's on the rack we're using it. We don't really get into too much accommodating resistance or chains or bands just because in a collegiate setting these kids maybe have 5 years of training under their belt at best. And you don't need accommodating resistance. It's great if you have enough manpower to do it, but with two strength coaches, it's really hard to run chains, bands, or whatever you want, especially when you've got 100 athletes coming through the weight room a day.
Plus, it doesn't help either, like we were talking about earlier about intent. Like, they don't, a lot of kids may not understand the intent of speed and maximal.
Yeah,
like,
they couldn't even do it with an empty barbell, so why put all these different things on the bar to make it even more complicated? TRXs are great. We use those probably once every 2 weeks. We'll do some kind of row variation with them. And a lot of our more bodyweight movements are used in some of our GPP phases. So right now we're really not into using a whole lot of different bodyweight things. We're trying to load the kids a little bit more. We use the physio balls once a week with physio ball curls. I really wish we had the hamstring rollers from Sornex, but we don't. So we'll use the physio ball curl for either, different ab, like stir the pot ab motions or hamstring curls. We got a pitch shark. I'm usually on this side of the weight room, work with different athletes who have problems, with their back or different things where they need to be on the pitch shark. Some smaller trap bars that we'll use when we get into some of our fridge contrast stuff for different jumps and stuff like that. You can't load these very heavy.
We got, you need to look into, I mean, I know depending on financials with the school, we just got a bunch of right ones. They were damaged, but they're like $80. They're like as tall as you. They're ginormous.
Really?
And they're like all low handles.
They have the high handles? See, that's
so you want the high handles?
I want the high handles. Because it's hard to grip that low handle all the time. We've got kettlebells here. We've got two 80s, and I think most of these are 65 or 70s. And then all the way down to 45. We use those every day in our warm-up. We kind of micro-dose our kettlebell swings and some of our smaller movements into our warm-ups. Lat pull-downs, Sornex, we use those usually twice every workout, whether it be a high lat pull variation or like a low row variation. And these are kind of our bread and butter.
Yeah, talk about these, because everybody's seen like the reverse hyper that everybody puts their waters on at a gym, but like these are the cream of the crop. Like, I know Williamson make it, but it's elite brand. Like, these are like $3-4 grand a pop. Like, these are no joke.
And all 10 of these, I think they were $3 grand a piece. All 10 of these were around $33,000. But fully adjustable in the back. It's got a pedal, which is really nice. Some of our kids, stomp this pedal and then it'll kind of slam back, but we just got to teach them how to use it a little more. Super nice. You can do any glute ham, any hyperextension, anything you want here, and then you can flip around and hit the reverse hyper. I usually keep this one loaded with 200 pounds, just either for my training or any of my kids who have some back problems, they want to come in here.
Well, how about the foot plate being so big? Have you noticed with just your training, like the difference, like how much more you can drive into it compared to a lot of the foot plates are, you know, half
Yeah.
the size of that.
Yeah, and then I'll drop this down too to where my feet can really be, you know, centered on the pad. And I can play with my width too. So like if I want to hit more outer hamstring, I can toe out and get a little bit wider stance. Or if I want to hit that inner hamstring,
A little more internally
yeah, I can
rotated.
toe in and get a little bit narrower stance. It's great for that. You know, like I said, we've been hitting razor curls, which the kids get torn up
Yeah.
with because it really hits the hamstring right behind the knee. But also, I mean, these handles are great. Like we'll do some body weight dips as finishers on these handles.
Well, yeah, I'm sure when LA came here and he got all this, or were these here when he was here? Like, I'm sure the first thing he saw, he's like, oh, I'm gonna do a bunch of dips on these.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's a big body. He loves the bodybuilding accessories. So when he saw,
it'll be a finisher every now and then. I mean, we'll do a lot of bench dips.
yeah, your guys that can do the dips.
Yeah, our guys that can do dips, yeah, we get them on these and they love it. But yeah, these are our bread and butter. We haven't had reverse hypers in too much, but if I've got kids with lower back issues, they're usually hitting them once a week. But
Yeah.
we do hit glute hams once a week. We hit hypers once or twice a week. So this is where we make our money. And this just is some of our extra stuff. We've got cones for the field, some heavier med balls that we work with. Our blocks, I'll have some of our guys on our blocks from week to week that have back problems and different things. Just because I wanted to get into the stimulus of a clean pull or a snatch pull, but I don't want to put so much pressure on their lower back. And then we move into some of our Kaiser stuff. We've been using a lot of these lately for rotational work for our core. For a lot of our guys, just trying to get out of the sagittal plane and teach them some different movements that they think would be interesting. Like I said, they're pneumatic for pressure loaded, so you can go down all the way to 5 pounds or, you know, really 0, and you can go all the way up to 50 here with resistance. And then this is kind of our turf area. We've got some older Sornex GHDs that we haven't really been using. We've got Normatec boots laid out here that kids come and get. We've got all our cardio equipment, Stairmaster, Jacob's ladder, and then some of our other stuff here, bike, elliptical, treadmill. We've got a Woodway, but we need to get a different plug to plug it in.
Is it too powerful?
Yeah, I think so.
It trips the circuit break. Because how fast does that go?
Shoot.
Does this one go like 20?
Probably.
Yeah, it probably trips the breaker.
It's pretty fast. But this is our turf area. We'll do a lot of our hip mobility stuff, or hurdle mobility for our warm up over here in our turf area. And then this is the Kaiser squat. We don't use this a whole lot just because we don't like the angle it puts on some of the kids' backs. It really tilts their pelvis into anterior tilt really bad. But every now and then we'll play with it, or I'll play with it. Some of the coaches will, or interns or whatever. But we move on to our dumbbell area. And the way they set up this weight room is nice now because we kind of have racks over here, barbell work over here, and then we can come over here and do dumbbell work. So if it's an upper bench day or something like that, we'll come over here, and our corrective for the bench will be a chest supported row. So we'll kind of superset those back and forth to get some quality work in. And then we've got some more specialty bars here, like we've got a heavier football bar, which is kind of nice to play around with. We've got one fat bar, one axle bar that we sometimes use. And then
You got a Duffalo bar.
Duffalo bar, but we don't ever use it. I mean, you might as well just use a safety squat bar, in
Yeah.
my opinion. If you want to get really tricky, like West Side or something, then yeah, go ahead and use it. But I don't have a very good use for it. Got a couple plyo boxes, not many. But we make our money with our dumbbell stuff, with a lot of our dumbbell work, whether it be different step-up variations or dumbbell shrugs or something like that. We're heavy on the shrugs and the upper back just to kind of build the neck strength up to prevent concussions and different things. Really don't get into our manual neck or anything like that until the season. But right now we just kind of build our upper back with our different snatch grips, our dumbbell shrugs, and we'll do seated one-arm shrugs and different things like that to really build those traps up to protect that neck. But it's pretty much our weight room. We've got a nutrition area that's really nice. We've got snacks out for the guys all the time. Core power shakes. We've got a Powerade machine that usually spits out blue or yellow Powerade. Yeah, that's the weight room.
All right.